Hello, welcome back. I'm going to continue on with the story here. So sit back and enjoy.
Evie,
That
do be careful
Nigel's
with that
full of
sharp blade.
surprises.
Well, it looks like we got this one, playing it by ear. Heavy search for the piece of Eden continues as she examines the notebook recovered from Miss Thorne's chest.
You may have not found a piece of Eden, but this material is invaluable. Look. It says the London assassins had found a shroud.
The Shroud of Eden is supposed to heal even the gravest injury. If the assassins had found something like this, surely Father would have known.
There must be something we're missing.
Something only we can see. These look like directions. Are you coming?
Fieldwork is not really my speciality.
We found a clue to a precursor object. Don't you want to follow it?
Put that way, one can hardly refuse.
Atta girl.
Well, it looks like we got some new info in Evie's notebook. Entry number 2. Every time I look at what few papers I have managed to salvage from the collection Miss Thorne acquired, I am angry at Jacob. If it weren't for his interference, I would now be sorting through a wealth of information, the likes of which I had never seen before. At least I have the notebook, and several papers I found tucked inside. I also take comfort in the fact that Miss Thorne does not have it, though I was so certain that she would be receiving the piece of Eden itself. Let this be a lesson to me not to rush to conclusions. Mr. Green has moved some of his books from his curio shop to the train so that we have the resources as we analyze the notebook's contents. It is nice to have the company as I work. Wow, we got the Shroud of Eden. The first civilization created many strange and powerful objects, which we refer to as pieces of Eden. We've discovered apples, strange spheres that can manipulate minds, powerful swords and staves, as well as some other objects that are a little bit less impressive. But perhaps one of the strangest ones has to be the Shroud of Eden. Civilians know the objects as the Shroud of Turin, which some allege is the burial shroud of Jesus of Nazareth. On the surface, it's a white linen cloth, stained with blood, with the imprint of a man who appears to have been crucified. What we know about this object has been pieced together from various sources, genetic memories stolen from Abstergo's Project Legacy by the hacker collective known as Erudito, and the semi-coherent ramblings of the assassin Clay Kaczmarek, who was driven insane by prolonged exposure to the Animus. It apparently has the ability to heal severe injuries, but we don't know how. It has ties to a precursor named Consus, but we've not been able to dig up anything more about him. Early reports of the artifacts are hidden within myths and legends. The golden fleece of Jason and the Argonauts, Joseph's famous multicolored coat, and it's allegedly helped David fell Goliath. Yet its most famous owner is undoubtedly celebrity carpenter Jesus, whose resurrection was apparently facilitated by the shroud. It bears mentioning that other than Jesus, there are no reports of any piece of Eden capable of bringing back the dead. And until I see it for myself, in an animus or otherwise, I remain a complete skeptic. To me, it's just a fancy napkin. Dead is dead, no matter how much I might wish otherwise. The object's been stolen back and forth between the Assassins and Templars over the centuries. The last report was the Templars had managed to acquire it in the 1940s and have it stored away. Being the ever-imaginative sort, they refer to it as Piece of Eden number 66. Although it might not be the sexiest piece of Eden out there, it's certainly not a laser sword or a mind control ball or a hover spoon. I've always been curious to know more about the shroud. I'm glad to know there's at least one more of them out there. I hope we get to it first. Wow.
Do you know, I think this map may be taking us to the Kenway mansion.
Kenway? The pirate?
Master assassin and pirate, yes.
How much do you know about the Shroud of Eden?
It's said to heal the sick. Popular myth is that it brings people back from the dead, but the assassin records say that's not true. I've never heard of one being in London, though. Do you really think Edward Kenway could have found one?
He traveled extensively, so it's possible. But if he did, he kept it a closely guarded secret.
But if it's true, what a find it would be.
Indeed. I'm eager to find out myself. It's surprising that you haven't already searched the Kenway house.
Edward's son, Haven, joined the Templars. When he died, the house passed on to Haven's sister.
And in all your time in London, you didn't go and have a look around? Weren't even a little curious?
Truly, I didn't expect to find anything there. We've no way of knowing how many times the building's changed hands. I presumed Hayden would have had it stripped bare before he left.
Whoa! I think this is it.
I think you're right. Look.
I'll be in the study. I don't want to be interrupted unless you have news of the lost notebook.
That makes getting in a challenge.
You still intend to enter?
If this is a Templar stronghold, it won't get any easier. Don't worry. We'll stay well away from Miss Lucy. Shall we? Can you check over there?
Of course.
Well, look at this. We have the Kenway Mansion. The pirate-turned-assassin Edward Kenway returned to England with his young daughter Jennifer in tow. Upon receiving a pardon from Lord Robert Walpole, he moved to London in order to work with the assassins there. Once there, he met Tessa Stevenson Oakley, the daughter of his landlord. Using her family connections, Tessa helped Edward purchase a manor in Queen Anne's Square. They were married soon after and had a son, Haytham. The Kenways weren't like other well-to-do London families, and they were a frequent subject of gossip. Edward was rarely seen, often traveling about the city and Europe on mysterious business. Haytham was schooled inside the mansion and rarely allowed to speak to anyone outside its walls. There was but one frequent visitor to the house, Edward's business associate Reginald Birch, who began to court Jennifer, much to her dismay. Jennifer knew the truth about her father's past, and when she discovered that Birch was a Templar who was after his secrets, she tried to warn him. Birch sent mercenaries to the Kenway mansion. Edward was killed and Jennifer was sold to Turkish slavers. Oblivious to the truth, Tessa Kenway allowed Birch to become Haytham's legal guardian and take him away, while she remained in London to oversee repairs to the mansion. She died alone 12 years later, allegedly from a fall. Years passed, and Haytham, now a Templar trained by Birch, found Jennifer in Damascus. The siblings confronted Birch in Troyes, France, and killed him. Jennifer returned to London and took possession of the mansion in Queen Anne's Square. Although she and Haytham kept in touch, she was a bit bitter that her brother chose to remain a Templar, despite learning of Birch's treachery. She became quite the recluse. Her only visitor of note was a young Elise de la Serre, who was visiting London on something of a soul-searching trip. Out of respect for Haytham Kenway's accomplishments, the Templars made no attempt to claim the property while Jennifer was alive. Despite their beliefs that there were many assassin secrets still hidden inside it, after Jennifer's passing in 1805, the Order quietly purchased the lot. It's not known what, if anything, any of the Kenways hid there, and even its location remained a mystery to the assassins for many years.
When I get over there, I'll bleed you dry! When I get you, I'll hang you from Tower Bridge! Stop right bloody now! My dogs are angry. I'm all out of fresh meat. You follow? You better keep your distance if you know what's good for you.
Can't I play too, miss? Oh. Crikey! Murder! Murder!
What are you looking for?
Kill someone driving like that!
What's going on?
This one won't be needing breakfast tomorrow.
Smells like a drowned sewer rat.
Whoever did this, they won't get away from me.
Dead as a
Drowned rat.
Someone's been turned into cold meat.
I'll make you.
What's wrong with you?
The little piggy has no fashion sense and needs to die. That look? I used to suffer from terrible anxiety, and so my doctor suggested I inject mercury into my tear ducts.
Something from Edward Kenway's time.
Had better not be trouble.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
I wish Father could have seen this.
What are we looking for?
I'm not quite sure.
Templar's not seen.
Something only we can.
Not enormously subtle, is it?
Clearly Kenway had a strong sense of spectacle.
Well, that's it for this video so far. We'll continue this off in the next part. So have a good one, and we'll see you later.